All right, guys. Here is a recording of the meeting if you missed it tonight. So, occurred on September 17th. The agenda is I shared my purpose with the group, my purpose being why I coach. I think that's important to share every time that we get together, just to remind you guys that us as coaches, we're here for the right reason here at West Park. And we want you to feel comfort in knowing that we're here to help with the growth and development of your kids, and we're really going to commit ourselves to that. We also went over our Respect 90 philosophy, which I'll get more into in just a minute. The important information, some pod grouping stuff, our schedule, and then drop off and pickup points. So we went over my purpose, and this basically is the reason that I coach. And all of us coaches at West Park have done this. And I actually had this developed before I started working at West Park. So it was really just kind of a perfect fit. So what I've done in the past with my boys is we focus a lot on respect and personal accountability and responsibility. So that is a big part of my goal in reaching the kids. And we do that through teaching empathy, a growth mindset, and also the importance of human connectedness. I will also share this slide deck so that you can get to this link here. But this link will take you to all of our coaches' purpose statements on our baseball website. It's pretty cool if you have the time to take a look at that. So our Respect 90 philosophy is basically foundation of our program. And what we did with the boys on Monday is we had a little lesson on what Respect 90 means. And what they did was they came up with what Respecting 90 looked like in the classroom, what it looked like with their family members, and what it looks like in their overall lives. So basically what Respect 90 is if you can run hard to first base, regardless of the outcome. If it's a strikeout, ball in the dirt, strike three, a pop-up, or a hard base hit up the middle. Basically what this is saying is you're going to run as hard as you can to first base. Or in other words, you're going to control the controllables in your life, and that's going to earn you respect. You're going to respect yourself. Others are going to respect you. And ultimately what's going to happen is you're going to begin to respect other aspects of your life, such as, your teachers and your peers in the classroom, your significant others, your mom and your dad. And we talked about, it's important to go home and share your love with your family and let them know that you appreciate, that they're there for you and the things that they do. So these are some of the things that they came up with. These were a few of my favorite. If you look over on the right side there, those are their words I copy and pasted. It's really amazing some of the things that they came up with. Now, also, the main reason I'm sharing this slide deck is because you're going to need access to this link here. I've already sent it out in an email in a few weeks past, but we've added a few people to our distribution list, so you may not have gotten this. Okay, but you're going to need the assumption of risk document filled out before the first day on Tuesday next week. That should say the 22nd, not the 21st. Sorry about that. So you can print it out, fill it out, whatever. You can return it via email to me electronically, or you can bring a hard copy on the first day. Okay, but in order to participate, your son needs to have that signed. Okay. Sanitation, of course, before and after practice, that will be provided. Okay, and they can bring their own if they'd like to sanitize in between, of course, but sanitizer will be provided before and after each practice to all of the boys. Screenings must be done each and every day. The boys will complete these screenings on their own via the Google form that I have attached here. Basically, it's just going to walk them through and ask them if they have any symptoms, and they need that filled out, and I will give them the deadline. It'll be their responsibility. We're meeting on Monday evening, next Monday before our first day, and I'm going to share it with them that they need to fill out that Google form the day of practice before practice. So it needs to be completed by a hard deadline. I'm going to let them know that deadline is by 12 o'clock noon, okay, on a day of practice. All participants, of course, will stay 6 feet apart at all times. More important info here. Athletes have been placed in pods, and those pods after the actual parent meeting. Many parents had requested their children in specific pods for transportation purposes. So if you're watching this and there's someone that your son is planning on driving with some days, then I need to know that so I can put them in the same pod. Okay, but in the following pages, the pods that I put together are going to be irrelevant because I'm going to have to make changes to those. Okay, and I'll also show you a diagram that shows where you will be dropping off your boy. Okay. Participants cannot transfer between pods, so once the pod has been established, there is no switching. Although we will adhere to social distancing rules, athletes are still required to wear face coverings whenever possible, specifically to and from the field. Once they're at the field and they start to begin quote unquote heavy breathing, then they are allowed to remove it, but they'll just place it in their pocket. And when they stop moving, they will put it back on. Coaches will be required to have face coverings on at all times. So just so you're aware, coaches will coach from a distance. Of course, we will maintain the 6-foot rule, and we will have those masks on at all times. Now, as far as the pod groupings go, again, as mentioned before, if you have a particular person or persons that you would like your son to be with, please email me, let me know so I can adjust the pods accordingly, because it doesn't make sense for them to show up with one boy if you're carpooling and then they're in separate pods and they get back in a car in the same car afterwards together. So it doesn't make sense. So they need to be in the same pod. Once pods start, your son cannot change pod groupings unless he takes 10 days off. So that specifically applies to the football players. So football boys finished up their pod workouts today, so they cannot join us at our baseball pod workouts until the second week. Okay, until the second week. So they won't be able to participate that first week because it'll be within that 10 days. Pods stay together for a minimum of 4 weeks. Pods are 15 people or less, and we're not going to have to worry too much about that because we only have about 20 boys. And pods must be a minimum of 150 feet apart at all times. Okay, so these groupings won't mean much right now at this point because I'm going to send out different groupings according to the requests. I will send out those groupings later on this weekend. Here's our schedule. It's already been sent out. Okay, but here you go if you want to pause it and take a look. Week 1 and week 2 will be 3 days each. That's the middle of the week, 3:30 to 5, because we can't have workouts greater than 90 minutes. And then weeks 3 and 4, we will have 2 days a week. Now, I have additional baseball scheduled, such as scrimmages with other high schools that are local. But at this point, that is not allowed. So this is just fingers crossed, restrictions change, and some of the restrictions are lifted, and we're able to get out there and play some baseball against some of the other high schools. I have them scheduled, I have them planned, but we'll see by that October 15th date if that's going to be a reality for us. Drop off and pick up locations. So once again, stay tuned. I'll send out the pod information later on in a few days, and I'll let you know if your son is part of the Navy pod, following the Navy arrows, or the Gold pod, following the Gold arrows. So I know your son doesn't know campus too well. None of the students do quite yet, but if you follow these arrows, you'll see we have a little circle drop off here on the, I'm not really sure what side of campus that is, on the bottom of the screen here by that number 3. Okay, they can drop off and they're just going to follow this arrow, and right by the queue there on the picture, down by the ball field, there is a right field opening gate that they can walk through. If they're on the Gold pod, then they're going to walk directly through campus between the Gym C and the football field 8. Hang a left, hang a right, hang another left, and there is also a left field fence opening there that they will enter through. Also noted, no spectators. We know you guys are excited, but I've been asked to share with you guys, unfortunately, no spectators for now. Fundraising, don't worry about that for now. I'll get more information out on that soon. And then we went over any questions that everybody had. For you, since you weren't able to make the meeting, if you have any questions, please just email me. All right. And thank you.